Okay, people, got some MK videos coming up, but let's get this one out the way first. And what we're gonna do here is put it to the test. Who did it best, Midway or NRS? And we're gonna start with this one first because it will probably be the shortest and easiest one to do. Who made better music for the Mortal Kombat games, Midway or NRS? And already, I think everyone already knows the answer to this, but let's break it down. Now, of course, you all know music can elevate a game. It elevates your emotions. It elevates the background you're in. If the mood suits the background, it makes for a better atmosphere and enhances your experience. So which games did this best? And let me just say this, in terms of NRS, in terms of like a sad scene in the story, an action-packed scene in the story, they definitely get the mood right and the background music is cool. However, in terms of a catchy stage theme, a memorable character selection theme, I am sorry, but I don't remember any of these from Mortal Kombat 1, MK11, or MKX. I don't remember any of them. They were too generic. They didn't stand out. They're not in my memory. So already, those three games are already out the picture. Mortal Kombat 9 is a soundtrack I actually remember, and that's the one left standing for NRS in this battle. Now, I will say, they've got one or two original tracks in there, but the reason why this soundtrack is really a banger is because they're remixing old tracks from the 2D era. That was their advantage. So these tracks were already bangers and they simply remixed them, but they did a great job. Added in the beats, the guitar, they actually blew this one out the park, I won't lie. But if we were to compare their overall bodies of work, then this is pretty much over. Cause to me, NRS only have one banging soundtrack, and that's Mortal Kombat 9. The others, you can say they're mid or anything, but none of them are banging apart from Mortal Kombat 9. So you now compare that one banging soundtrack to what? Maybe like 7, 8 good Midway soundtracks. And this is why I said in a previous video, NRS needed the jukebox ASAP. Cause that's like what? 8-1? Yeah, the race is over at this point, but what we can do now is list the top 5 best soundtracks. Which one was the best? And for this video, I actually went back and listened through to all these albums just to get a fresh take. And after doing that, and of course people, music is subjective, I have determined that, for me, the #1 Mortal Kombat soundtrack is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And why? Because it has banger after banger after banger. The entire album, there is not one bad track on it. The entire album, all the tracks are classic. All of them. Come on, you remember them. The rooftop, the streets, the bank, the bridge, not one stinker. All tracks are fire. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is the best soundtrack in Mortal Kombat. The perfect album. That's #1. #2 position, I'd say NRS slipped in here. Mortal Kombat 9. And again, the reason is it's actually remixing the old tracks. So essentially you got a lot of MK2 here, MK1, some of MK3, so that's the advantage. It's a combination with remixes. And they killed these remixes. The Armory, the Deadpool, their version of the Deadpool in MK9 with the electric guitars took it to a different level. And of course, Shao Kahn's Throne Room, a theme that suits Shao Kahn to the T. So yeah, the MK9 soundtrack was fire. I'd give it second place. NRS made it in the top 5, people. Number 3, I'd say Mortal Kombat Deception. The soundtrack was fire, but not every single track was fire, but the majority of it was fire. Of course, you got classics in there like The Courtyard, The Portal, but standout tracks like The Red Dragon. I actually gave that to Su Hao in WAFC. Of course, you have unforgettable tracks like Onaga's theme, The Dragon Has Left the Building. Listen to this shit. Liu Kang's Tomb literally sounds like it would be Liu Kang's funeral music, and of course Slaughterhouse Jive, fire soundtrack. Plus of course the soundtracks in the Conquest mode like Earthrealm, calm and soothing, fire soundtrack. Number 3, Mortal Kombat Deception. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and the reason it's number 4 is because not every single soundtrack was actually fire on this. Some of them were meh, but the ones that were good, fire. Of course, everyone knows the character selection theme, the best track in the entire game. Other notable bangers: Sarna Ruins. WFC fans know this track well, right? Banger. You also have the Wuxi Academy, that's a good track. And of course, Shang Tsung's Palace, arguably Shang Tsung's best theme in any game. So yeah, they had a couple of bangers in there, but good soundtrack. And last but not least, and this one might shock you, I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat 4. Wait, what? Yes, and this game is regarded by many as the worst Mortal Kombat fighting game. Keyword, fighting game. So no special forces or Sub-Zero mythologies. The worst fighting Mortal Kombat game. But I can tell you one thing it nailed: the soundtrack was hard. You have Goro's best Mortal Kombat theme here. Best version. Other bangers include the Elder Gods theme, the Prison, the Well. Mortal Kombat 4 actually had a good soundtrack. And that would be my top 5. Of course, I would include Mortal Kombat 2. That's very good as well, but because MK9 is remixing some of his best tracks, I just left it out. MK Armageddon, decent soundtrack, 2 couple of bangers there. Yeah, that would be it. These are my personal favorites. And you know, while we're at it, we might as well just finish it off, right? You know what I'm gonna say next, right? The top 5 Mortal Kombat character selection themes, right? Number 1, you already know what that is, right? The Deadly Alliance theme. It's the number 1 character selection theme in Mortal Kombat history. Fire, gets you pumped up, hard track. You're not gonna beat that. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Fire character selection theme. For me, it's a very close second. Third, I'd say Mortal Kombat Deception. It takes a while to get into it, but the longer you let it play, the better it becomes. So the Mortal Kombat Deception theme at number 3. Number 4, I'll give that to Mortal Kombat 2. That's a classic. And number 5, again, another shocker. MK4, I thought this theme was actually fire. The only problem is it looped too quick. Should have went on more, but yeah, those are my top 5 character selection themes. And that's gonna be it, people. So in terms of music, yes, Midway did it better, clearly. We're gonna do characters next, so watch out for that video. But for the time being, people, list your top 5 Mortal Kombat soundtracks and your top 5 character selection themes.